Hello and welcome back. This was a Johns Hopkins University Library off week, but I still managed to get a couple of films from the McNaughton Popular Viewing collection. I haven't seen either of these yet, but I'm really excited about both of them. First one is The Last Station. This is based on the last days, or it's based on a novel which was based on the last days of Leo Tolstoy, the famous novelist. And it stars Christopher Plummer and Helen Mirren, which just, can you get a better cast than that? And I've heard that it's kind of overacted and is a little bit hammy, but it just sounds like a hoot. I cannot wait to see this. And then I'm even more excited about this one. This is Solitary Man, starring Michael Douglas and Susan Sarandon and some other famous people, Danny DeVito, Mary Louise Parker. And it's about a guy who is just, basically it sounds like a complete jerk and has made a total hash of his life, and I guess is trying to put the pieces back together. As I say, I haven't seen it yet. But I really like Michael Douglas, and I've really grown recently to appreciate films that have main characters who really are not terribly sympathetic. So I'm just so excited to see this. I've seen the previews for it, it looks great. I just cannot wait. And then from University of Baltimore, I got Alain Resnais's famous documentary, Night and Fog. Resnais is really not famous as a documentarian. This may be the only one he's done, I'm not sure. His most famous film, which is one of my favorites, is Last Year at Marienbad, and but he's well known for some other films as well. This is only half an hour long, and it's basically a meditation on the Holocaust and mixes footage of the now empty concentration camps. I think it was made about 10 years after the liberation of the camps. And it mixes that footage with historical footage, and have not seen this yet. Then from Stevenson, I got Heist, which is directed by David Mamet. I've actually had pretty mixed results with Mamet. He wrote Wag the Dog, which is one of my all-time favorite films. And so I guess I grew sort of attached to him because of that. And I've seen film after film after film of his, and honestly a lot of them leave me sort of nonplussed. I really liked Oleana and House of Games, and I think I liked Glengarry Glen Ross, but I don't really remember it that well. But this one is supposedly really good. It has Gene Hackman, who's always reliable, so might as well give it a try. And now on to my findings from the Enoch Pratt Free Library Sights and Sounds Department. First, I got Jellyfish. You may remember last week that I saw a film called 999, which was written by a writer, a short story writer named Etgar Keret, who wrote the film based on his short stories. Well, this film was directed by Etgar Keret and was co-directed and screenwritten by his wife. So I figured I might as well give this a try. This one I was not really as taken with. It's one of those films about a bunch of interconnecting characters, and just, I tend to like quirky independent films, so if you see a lot of quirky independent films, you wind up seeing a lot of films like that. And this one just didn't really stand out to me all that much. It wasn't a horrible film, I just wasn't that taken with it. And next I got Bay of Angels. This is directed by Jacques Demy, who did a couple of my favorite films, The Young Girls of Rochefort and The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, as well as Lola, Model Shop, a lot of different films. This one seems a little darker than his usual style, although he certainly has moments of darkness in even his more lighthearted films. I haven't seen it yet, but it's about a pair of gamblers who fall in love, and the male gambler is really in love with the female gambler, but she is just using him because she thinks he brings her luck. Then I got My Name is Bill W., which was a made-for-TV movie about the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. It stars James Woods and James Garner. And I'm a huge James Woods fan. I will watch pretty much anything that he's in. He does tend to chew the scenery a little bit, so I'm curious to see what he does with this role. And last but not least, this is from the BBC and looks absolutely insane. It's called Genghis Khan, and it is about I haven't seen it yet, but from judging by the back of it, it looks like a very dark comedy. It's about a former concentration camp guard who thinks he has escaped his past and is now hiding out in a small town. And then the ghost of one of the men whose deaths he oversaw comes back to take revenge. And it's supposed to be funny. And it stars Diana Rigg, so you've got to give anything that stars Rigg a shot. And it's based on a novel by Romain Gary, who I've read only one of his books called Chien Blanc, or White Dog, which was made into a good film by Samuel Fuller, although very different from the book. And I really liked that. Gary doesn't come across to me as the most likable of people, but definitely an interesting figure who wrote interesting books. So that also gives this a little more added appeal. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's funny and dark and all those other good things. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me for my next video.